In the 1920s, women were allowed the right to vote, which was granted by the 19th Amendment. They were changing their social status of what they were supposed to do and what they wanted to do. During World War I, many troops were deployed to the Western Front and left their jobs and family. Soon after, the women took the husband's jobs to support their family. Women began to break their social norms, which is known as the Flapper Era, due to wanting to become more respectable in the workforce and become not as controlled by men. Women were breaking free of the men's influence on them, and powerful women like Susan B. Anthony and Katie Stanton, or known as Elizabeth Cady Stanton, began advocating women's rights to own their own land, get an education, and have more opportunities in careers, etc. That is when women started to dress, in quotes, provocatively throughout the Flapper Era that was mostly influenced by the luxurious Coco Chanel. The Flapper influence still portrayed a form of men by using the design of suits onto women's designs, in a way of saying women needed as much respect as men had. Needless to say, the Chanel brand had a major influence on the 1920s, or more known as the Flapper Era. Chanel's clothing and design influence on women not only made them feel important, but it made the current fight and the upcoming revolution worth it. Chanel was born on August 19, 1883 in Semur, France. Her birth name was Gabrielle. She lived in poverty and wasn't very wealthy due to her mother being a laundry woman in a charity hospital, and her father was a street vendor. At an early age, Chanel's mom died, and her father put her and her other sisters in Abyssine orphanage. The orphanage was run by nuns, which ended up raising her in all the years that she was there. In the orphanage, Chanel learned how to sew, and at the age of 18, she left. After leaving the orphanage, Chanel went to a school in Moulins called Notre Dame. At Notre Dame, she was given further instruction on how to sew. The Mother Superior at Notre Dame found employment for Chanel in a draper store. Chanel played a big role in designing the modern woman and her clothes. During her brief career as a singer, Chanel performed in a cafe concert called La Rotonde, where she acquired the name Coco because of a song she would sing. A big help in Chanel's career was Arthur Chappell. He helped her set up her first store in 1913 in Deauville, and another one in 1915 in Biarritz. In the 1920s, she launched her first perfume and eventually introduced the Chanel suit and the little black dress. She died on January 10, 1971. Her cause of death was a drug overdose, so the luxurious name is not all it lives up to, due to Gabrielle's struggling and long life. The 1920s was a powerful time in changing women's life. The way Coco Chanel designed her clothing was truly how she felt women should behave. Her clothes said it all. Many girls express the way they felt and the way they are through the choices and clothes they made. Also, it did affect many men because they didn't like how the women became so open-minded and gave their opinion about everything. The flapper dress symbolized the way they felt. None of the girls cared how people viewed them now, so men felt their confidence in their dresses and when they smoke and drink in public. Coco Chanel had an immense impact on the society. The age of the flapper and suffragettes. We cut our hair, voted, wore makeup, and did everything men told us not to do. Women were an unstoppable force. Coco had known this, and her fashion demonstrated women's fierceness. Her masculine style empowered women further. Gone was the frill, lace, and excess cloth. Instead, she adopted beads for decorating her clothing, and chose to use less cloth inspired by men's fashion. Fashion was vastly important. Social class, worth, and social status were all represented by your fashion.